What breaks a person more, the sound of your anger or the sound of your absence? Most believe it's the shouting, the long messages, the desperate goodbyes that cut the deepest. But they're wrong. What truly destroys is the silence that follows, when the man who once explained everything simply vanishes without a word. Because silence, brother, is not the end of a conversation. It's the beginning of realization. She doesn't feel it at first. She laughs, she scrolls, she tells herself you'll come back. But as the hours turn to days and the noise fades into nothing, she begins to hear the one thing she's never faced before, her own echo. Your absence becomes a mirror, and what she sees in it is the truth she spent so long avoiding. The peace you found becomes the chaos she can't escape. And that's what this journey is about. Not games, not revenge, but transformation. The moment a man's silence stops being about her and starts being about him. Because when you stop explaining yourself, you stop bleeding energy. You stop chasing understanding. You stop fighting for peace and simply become it. So, brother, if you're ready to learn how silence turns pain into power, stay right here. This is Stoicism, where silence becomes your language, stillness becomes your strength, and peace becomes your boundary. Like this video so more men can find their calm. This audio is the original content of Marcus Aurelius' Way. Unauthorized copying, re-uploading, or reproduction is strictly prohibited and may result in a copyright claim or strike. Start this journey now. Drop a 1 if you'd still explain yourself. Drop a 2 if you've learned that silence says more. Because once a man disappears with dignity, everything starts to change. 1. The power of disappearing without warning. Brother, there comes a moment when a man realizes that explaining himself has become more exhausting than leaving. That's the moment real power enters. When you stop over-talking, stop defending your heart, stop trying to make someone see what they kept refusing to see, and you simply disappear without warning. It doesn't create silence, it creates impact. At first, she thinks it's just space. She tells herself you're cooling off. She assumes you'll circle back like before. But silence from a man who once showed up every day isn't space. It's a verdict. It's a line in the sand saying, I am no longer available to be misunderstood. You didn't vanish to punish her. That's not what a grounded man does. You walked away to reclaim what was slowly being drained from you. Your energy, your peace, your presence. Most men chase validation because they're afraid of being unseen. But the Stoic man, he withdraws from validation because he finally understands his presence was never owed. It was a privilege, and when a privilege is taken for granted, removal is not cruelty, it's clarity. That's why your absence suddenly becomes louder than any paragraph you could have sent. Because when a man stops begging to be understood, the silence he leaves behind becomes her loudest teacher. She starts replaying the last conversation, the tone in your voice, the look in your eyes, trying to find the exact second you chose yourself again. She remembers the patience she called needy, the care she called too much, and it hits her. You didn't leave to win an argument, you left to protect your peace. You chose to stop performing worthiness for someone who had already forgotten its value. And here's the part she doesn't tell anyone. She feels it in waves. Day 1, it's curiosity. Day 3, it's confusion. Day 7, it's discomfort. Then one day it becomes realization. He's not chasing anymore. Because when the constant presence disappears, it exposes how dependent she'd become on your steady attention. Your silence removes her reflection. Without you there, she can't see herself as desired, chosen, important. That's why disappearing, when done from self-respect, isn't running away. It's sovereign. It's a man saying, my energy is no longer available where it isn't honored. So yes, brother, disappearing without warning, when you've already tried honesty, effort, and patience, says more than any speech. It tells her you are a man with boundaries. It tells her your heart is not a public service. It tells her love isn't something she can keep on the shelf and pick up when she's bored. And that's exactly where the next shift happens, because once your silence lands, it doesn't just leave a gap in her day. It starts working on her mind. She thought you'd always be there. Now she has to ask herself why you're not. Drop this in the comments so other men can see it too. Peace over noise. 2. What silence does to her mind. Brother, here's the part most men never get to see. When you go quiet, it doesn't hit her all at once. It seeps in. At first, she laughs it off. Then she scrolls. Then she waits. That's how denial sounds in the digital age. She taps your profile, checks your status, looks for a story, a post, any digital heartbeat that tells her you're still orbiting her. But the silence that once felt like distance now starts to feel like gravity, slow, heavy, pulling her thoughts back to you, deeper every day. Because she was used to you being predictable, you texted back, you checked in, you cared out loud. Now there's nothing. And nothing is louder than a man who used to show up. To protect her ego, she starts building little narratives. He's busy. He's just giving space. Maybe he's trying to make a point. He'll be back. Those are not facts. Those are bandages. She's not explaining you. She's protecting herself from the possibility that you might actually be done. But silence, real silence from a man who once loved loudly, doesn't bend to imagination. It's unshakable. You're not reacting to her tempo anymore. You're moving to your own, and the longer it stretches, the louder her mind becomes. She starts to remember things she ignored. The night you were patient, the message you sent she left unread, the warning you gave when you said you were tired of repeating yourself. It all comes back because now there's space for it. That's the part people misunderstand. Silence is not absence, it's reflection. Your presence used to shelter her from her own emptiness. As long as you were still there, she didn't have to see it. But when your voice is gone, when your name no longer lights up her phone, she's forced to face what your presence used to hide. She was taking more than she was giving. The man she dismissed is now the ghost she can't silence. She thought she was unbothered, but now she's replaying everything. She's wondering if she overplayed her hand. She's wondering if maybe you weren't too much. Maybe she was too careless. And here's the twist, brother. Your stillness becomes her storm. Your calm becomes her chaos. Because silence exposes relational inflation, she realized she priced you low while you were available. Now that you're gone, the value multiplies in her memory. That's why she starts checking at odd hours, why she scrolls back to old messages, why she suddenly posts things by accident that she knows you might see. She's trying to interrupt the silence without admitting she misses you. But silence isn't only teaching her, it's watching her. It's revealing who actually had depth and who only had access. This is why a man must learn to sit in his own quiet, because when you refuse to break the silence first, you force truth to surface. You find out whether she loved you or just loved attention. You find out whether she misses you or just misses being wanted. You find out whether she regrets losing you or just regrets losing control. Brother, have you ever felt that shift when your silence started speaking louder than your words? 3. The mirror of silence. Brother, silence doesn't fight back. It reflects back. It doesn't chase closure or offer comfort. It simply holds up a mirror and waits for her to look. That's the strange power of quiet. When words fall away, truth has nowhere left to hide. You see, silence isn't a weapon. It's a revelation. And when she finally looks into it, she doesn't see you. She sees herself. The games, the pride, the subtle ways she chipped away at a man who only ever wanted peace. Every time she unlocks her phone and finds nothing, no text, no reaction, no validation, it's not your rejection she feels, it's her own echo coming back. Because silence, brother, doesn't destroy, it exposes. It forces her to sit in the emptiness she tried to fill with control. And that's why it hurts so deeply. For the first time she realizes it wasn't your withdrawal that broke her. It was her reflection inside your stillness. She'll call it coldness at first, because that's easier than admitting its truth. She'll tell her friends you changed, that you became distant. But deep down, she knows you didn't become distant. You became clear. She's not looking at punishment. She's looking at consequence. Because the mirror of silence shows no lies. It only reveals the residue of her choices, the moments she ignored your efforts, the dismissive replies, the half-hearted attention that told you she'd stopped listening long before you stopped talking. And now, brother, that mirror has turned into her lesson. Silence doesn't shout to make a point. It lets time do the teaching. Every unanswered message becomes a reflection. Every day without you becomes a reminder. Slowly, she begins to see that it wasn't you who lacked love. It was her who lacked awareness. The man she called too emotional was actually emotionally disciplined. The one she accused of being too available was the one who kept her world steady. Now she understands. Your presence was structure, and your silence is correction. That's the beauty and the cruelty of quiet strength. It never seeks revenge, but it never lies either. Silence is honest. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't beg to be understood. It simply stands there, unbothered, holding up the truth like a reflection she can't avoid. And the longer she looks, the more she sees what she lost and who you've become. So remember this, brother. Silence doesn't punish. It purifies. It strips away illusions until only truth remains. She thought she could control the narrative, but the mirror doesn't care about stories. It only shows reality. That's why your stillness unnerves her. It reveals everything she didn't want to see, because in the end, what she called coldness was never cruelty. It was clarity. And that clarity, brother, is what sets you free. Drop this truth below. Silence reveals all. 4. The emotional reversal. Brother, this is the moment everything shifts, the point in the story where her illusion of control begins to collapse. At first, she wears that silence like armor. She tells herself she's fine, that you'll come back, that this is just another cycle in a familiar pattern. But as the days turn into weeks, the air around her starts to change. What was once confidence begins to feel like doubt, and what was once indifference starts to sound like anxiety in disguise. She thought your silence was a bluff. She thought she knew your limits. But now she's realizing the silence isn't a strategy. It's a shift in energy. You see, brother, when a man who once loved loudly suddenly becomes calm, it shakes her. Because that calm isn't detachment, it's transcendence. You're no longer fighting for attention or understanding, you're standing in peace. And peace is the one thing ego can't argue with. She begins to test the waters, a like on an old post, a random text saying, "Hey, just checking in," a small breadcrumb to see if you'll bite. But when you don't respond, something inside her starts to panic. Silence, which she once used to control, now controls her. That's the paradox no one tells you about. Your withdrawal becomes the mirror that turns her confidence into confusion. She starts replaying the moments she thought she had the upper hand. The jokes she made at your expense, the times she ignored your effort. Now every memory feels heavier because there's no reaction coming from you to soften it. You've become mystery again, the same mystery that once drew her to you in the beginning. Only this time it's not performed, it's real. Because you're not acting calm to win her back, you are calm because you've already let her go. That realization cuts deep. The man she thought she could read has become unreadable. The one she assumed would always chase now walks through life unbothered, unreachable. It's not anger that unsettles her, it's the peace, because your calm becomes her chaos. Every moment she tries to provoke you and gets nothing back, every time she sends a signal and it's met with silence, she's forced to confront a truth that terrifies her. She no longer has influence. And that's the real reversal. The power she once held by withholding affection has dissolved. The control she thought she had through games now belongs to the man who simply stopped playing. The silence she mocked has become the silence she fears, and the peace she dismissed has become the gravity that pulls her thoughts back to you again and again. So when she stares at her phone and sees no reply, she's not just looking at a blank screen, she's looking at a new reality. One where you are no longer reacting to her world, but building your own. That's the moment she understands. You didn't disappear to hurt her. You disappeared because you healed. And brother, healing is the loudest silence a man can ever give. Type this below if you've lived it, brother. Power in stillness. 5. The Stoic man's transformation. Brother, while she's wrestling with her own ghosts, you've been rebuilding something sacred, yourself. You're not the same man who once begged to be seen or explained his worth to someone blind to it. The silence that once tore you apart now protects you. Every time you resist the urge to react, to prove, to reach out just to be acknowledged, you reclaim another piece of the man you lost in the noise. That's the paradox of growth. It's born from restraint. You've learned that healing doesn't always look like movement. It often looks like stillness. This is what she never understood. You didn't go silent to punish her. You went silent to protect yourself. You chose self-respect over self-sacrifice, and that single decision changed everything. Because a man who can master his response masters his reality. You're not avoiding conflict, you're elevating above it. That's where true transformation begins. Silence is no longer emptiness, it's alignment. You're no longer waiting to be chosen. You're choosing peace instead. And the world starts to notice, brother. You walk differently now. You move with quiet confidence. You speak less, but your presence says more. You've become the kind of man who no longer has to explain his worth. He embodies it. The same energy that once felt desperate now feels disciplined. The same heart that once sought validation now radiates purpose. That's when she begins to sense it, the difference in your silence. The man she once took for granted isn't missing. He's evolved. He's no longer reachable through the same emotions, no longer bound by the same attachments. It's a quiet evolution, the kind that doesn't need an announcement. Your absence becomes its own message. The peace around you becomes a frequency she can feel, but no longer access. And that's when she realizes what she lost wasn't just your attention, it was your energy, your loyalty, your presence. You've turned what used to be pain into power. You've stopped chasing closure because you've become it. That's the essence of a Stoic man's transformation. It's not loud, it's not performative. It's the steady shift from seeking understanding to embodying truth. You've stopped fighting to be seen because you finally see yourself clearly. You understand that silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom in motion. You've discovered that peace is not the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. And that's the moment you become untouchable, not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring correctly. Brother, this is your quiet evolution, the one no one claps for but everyone feels, the one that doesn't need validation because it's powered by purpose, the one that turns heartbreak into strength and silence into sovereignty. So ask yourself, have you begun yours yet, brother? 6. Self-mastery through silence. Brother, every time you choose restraint over reaction, you're not losing ground, you're rising above it. The world has taught men that strength is about striking back, proving a point, or forcing an outcome. But mastery doesn't come from control over others. It comes from control over yourself. When you hold your composure in the face of chaos, when you refuse to respond from ego or pain, you begin to feel something return to you, power, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that steadies. You see, silence isn't weakness, it's training. It's discipline disguised as stillness. It forces you to sit in the discomfort, to let your emotions flare up and burn out without dragging you into their fire. Most men can lift weights, but few can lift the weight of their own impulses. That's what separates a man who's reactive from a man who's refined. Silence makes you your own teacher. It exposes what still controls you and shows you what you're ready to release. When you can stay still while your mind is screaming to act, that's when growth happens. Because mastery isn't built in noise, it's built in pause. Every moment you resist sending that message, proving your point or seeking closure, you reclaim authority over your own emotions. You become the man who no longer needs validation to feel worthy. You're not ignoring her, brother. You're governing yourself. You're showing life that you can be trusted with peace. And here's the irony. The moment you stop seeking attention, attention begins to find you. There's a rare gravity in a man who's mastered himself. People feel it when you walk into a room, an energy that doesn't demand, but commands. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You've stopped reacting to the world and started responding to your purpose. That calm presence you now carry isn't passive, it's powerful. A Stoic man knows that silence isn't about retreat, it's about readiness. Every time you choose stillness, you sharpen your focus. Every time you choose patience, you strengthen your foundation. You stop moving from emotion and start moving from intention. And the deeper you go into this discipline, the less the world can shake you. Brother, this is what self-mastery feels like. Not indifference, but invincibility. The kind of power that comes when you no longer need to explain yourself because your energy speaks louder than your words ever could. The kind of strength that no argument can provoke and no loss can break. That's when people start to respect you differently, not because you demanded it, but because your composure commands it. Drop these words below if you feel it, brother. Stillness commands respect. 7. The final evolution from silence to sovereignty. Brother, there comes a moment when your silence no longer speaks of her, it speaks of you. It's the quiet turning point where everything you once tried to control is finally released. You stop explaining yourself. You stop proving your worth. The man who once reacted to every shift in her mood now simply observes. The man who once begged for understanding now simply walks away with peace. That's the essence of dark Stoicism, the transformation of pain into power, of heartbreak into higher ground. You no longer crave closure because you've become it. You no longer chase peace because you are it. The silence that once hurt now feels like home, and that's when you understand. Your power was never in the noise. It was always in your ability to remain still. She'll sense it before she admits it. The energy is different now. Your silence no longer feels like punishment. It feels like presence. The man she once knew, the one who tried to fix, explain, and prove, is gone. He didn't vanish in anger. He evolved in stillness. He died the moment he chose peace over persuasion. That's when she finally realizes your silence was never temporary. It was transformation. She can still think of you, talk about you, even try to reach you, but the version of you she remembers no longer exists. You've outgrown the story she left you in. This is sovereignty, the point where your emotions answer to you, not to someone else's inconsistency. You've learned